The Bahamas today is synonymous with vacation, sun, sand, sea, sex, and alcohol. All-inclusive resorts, celebrity chef restaurants, shopping, gambling, boating, swimming pigs. Bahamas, paradise. But did you know that over 300 years ago, one of the most powerful navies on Earth had to surrender to this very paradise? In 1718, the Bahamas was home to an infamous pirate republic. Many pirates were former sailors who turned to piracy out of desperation, due to unfair treatment or low pay. Together, they formed a unique community bound by their desire for freedom and autonomy. Alliances were constantly shifting, leading to frequent infighting and power struggles. Moreover, as the Republic grew, it attracted unwanted attention from European colonial powers. Sensing the potential threat posed by this autonomous pirate state, the British and Spanish governments began dispatching naval forces to suppress the rebellion. Your support allows us to keep bringing these fascinating historical tales to life. Check out our other videos for more captivating stories from human history. The ensuing conflict resulted in numerous battles, with both sides suffering casualties. Despite these setbacks, the Pirate Republic remained resilient. Under the leadership of figures like Blackbeard, the Brethren of the Coast continued to thrive. Blackbeard's reputation as a skilled fighter and charismatic leader inspired loyalty and obedience among the ranks. During this period, the pirates successfully defended their territory and amassed significant wealth. But their success was short-lived. In 1717, the British government offered Blackbeard a deal, granting him a noble title and promising him wealth in exchange for his surrender. However, when Blackbeard attempted to collect on this promise, the British reneged on the agreement. Outraged by the betrayal, Blackbeard assembled a fleet and commenced a reign of terror, attacking settlements across the Caribbean. This conflict culminated in the Battle of Cape Lookout in 1718. During the engagement, Blackbeard managed to wound Lieutenant Robert Maynard, the British naval officer pursuing him. But despite his victory, Blackbeard was ultimately captured and executed the following year. Blackbeard's execution marked a turning point for the Pirate Republic. Without his leadership, the Brethren of the Coast struggled to maintain their unity and strength. Rivalries intensified, leading to fragmentation. Eventually, many pirates were forced to flee, seeking refuge elsewhere. In 1706, the Brethren of the Coast chose New Providence Island as their base of operations. Today, the Bahamas remains a prosperous and popular tourist destination. Crystal clear waters teeming with marine life, white sand beaches, and luxurious resorts attract visitors from around the world. The vibrant culture, lively music scene, and delicious cuisine also contribute to its allure. But few people realize that this idyllic paradise was once the site of a fierce struggle for freedom and autonomy. The legacy of the Pirate Republic lives on in the stories of bravery and rebellion that continue to captivate us. The Bahamas serves as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the spirit of freedom and independence can never be truly subdued. Its natural harbors provided the perfect location for hiding their booty and escaping the clutches of naval forces. The lack of a strong central government also made it an ideal choice. Officially a part of the British Empire, New Providence was administered by a governor who resided on nearby New Britain Island. Due to the distance and limited communication, the governor had little control over the island. This absence of authority gave the pirates a sense of security, allowing them to operate freely and establish their pirate republic. Their presence brought a strange kind of prosperity to the island. Loot taken from enemy ships transformed the landscape, creating grand homes and businesses from the spoils of war. Despite this newfound wealth, tensions were high. The Brethren of the Coast lived in constant fear of being hunted down by the Royal Navy. To protect themselves, they created a constitution and appointed captains to lead their forces in defense of the island. With their numbers growing rapidly, the Brethren of the Coast soon found themselves transformed into a formidable force with ambitions far beyond mere survival. They wanted independence and recognition as a legitimate power. In a daring move, they seized 2 Spanish galleons filled with treasure and proclaimed their readiness to declare war on the empire. This bold declaration of intent was a pivotal moment. It marked a shift from mere resistance to outright defiance. The Brethren of the Coast had evolved into the Pirate Republic of Bahamas, a fully fledged society with its own laws, government, and military. Others were soldiers who, after surviving the brutality of war, sought to continue their careers with less supervision and more profit. For many, piracy was simply a means to escape poverty and oppression. One such group of people were the Brethren of the Coast, a collective of privateers and buccaneers who had turned to piracy in the Bahamas, originally operating out of the Spanish Main. The Brethren of the Coast attacked shipping routes controlled by the Spanish and French. But as the War of the Spanish Succession drew to a close, their activities shifted towards the Bahamas, with the war ending and privateering licenses becoming obsolete. The Brethren of the Coast were faced with unemployment and destitution. This dire situation forced them to turn to piracy in order to survive. A well-oiled machine that for a decade had wreaked havoc on the riches of the Spanish, French, and English empires. It may sound crazy, but these pirates were at one point the biggest threat to global trade and commerce. This is the fascinating story of the Pirate Republic, a libertarian dream and a nightmare for colonial authorities. Most modern conceptions of pirates stem from the swashbuckling romanticization of figures like Captain Kidd or Blackbeard. It was assumed that they sailed under flags of convenience, preying on the seas between established ports. Pirates were considered privateers, granted letters of marque by monarchs to capture opposing vessels and plunder their cargo. But this is only part of the picture. While many pirates did sail under letter of marque, those who did not were still a serious problem for governments of Europe from the 16th to 18th centuries. Europe was engaged in an intricate web of wars and conflicts that saw the rise of mercantilism. Each major European power recognized the value of resources acquired overseas, colonizing vast areas of Africa, Asia, and the Americas, while simultaneously exploiting local labor forces to develop plantations for cash crops. This economic system encouraged a dramatic increase in shipping. Between 1600 and 1750, the number of ships afloat doubled, tripled, and in some cases quadrupled. As a result, European powers invested heavily in maintaining naval fleets to protect their assets. But while navies patrolled the oceans, pirates thrived. Since the American colonies lacked a strong centralized government, the laws protecting merchants were either non-existent or difficult to enforce. This provided fertile ground for piracy to flourish. Moreover, pirates often had a deeper knowledge of local waters and weather patterns than the professional navies they opposed. Merchant ships were vulnerable, lumbering vessels carrying precious cargo and few weapons, if any. In fact, some pirate attacks were so quick and decisive that the victims never even realized what had happened. By the time their cargo was gone, the pirates were long gone. Much of the motivation behind piracy can be explained by the socioeconomic conditions of the time. It was here that they met a colorful cast of characters, including freed African slaves, English settlers, and even the occasional Chinese sailor. While the Pirate Republic boasted a degree of organization and structure, it also suffered from significant internal divisions. By 1721, the Pirate Republic of the Bahamas had ceased to exist. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to support our work, please consider becoming a patron